Hey all, this is Redditosker, and today I'd like to talk about the Game Awards. In a couple of days, the Game Award nominees will be revealed. And this has me very excited. I like the Game Awards. I know that not everyone cares, and some will turn their nose up at the whole thing. But not me. For me, the Game Awards are for the purpose of being tribalistic. You know, you get to cheer for the games that you like, you get to boo at the games that you don't like or the ones that you think are overrated or don't deserve it. You get to sling accusations of the whole thing being rigged when there's a result you don't agree with. You send Jeff straight to gamer jail. And there's also the hope and potential of a game getting announced that you would like. And they also present a lot of mediocre stuff, and you get to be aggressively dismissive of it. My perspective might be skewed here since I'm a content creator and I stream the Game Awards every year, but it's always the most fun stream I do all year. It's an opportunity to be catty and mean in a playful way. Some might think they're too good for the whole thing. They think they're above it. Not me. I enjoy getting down in the mud and slinging it with everybody else. And it is in that spirit in which I want to talk about today's topic. Shadow of the Erdtree should be nominated for Game of the Year. For those that don't know, Shadow of the Erdtree is the expansion to Elden Ring, and I think it should be nominated because it deserves it. It is the most fun I've had playing a video game this year. It delivered a huge amount of content. It took me about 70 hours to go through the entire thing blind in my first playthrough. And that's 70 hours of mostly meaningful content, which is more than what most games deliver, including many of the games that are likely to be considered for Game of the Year. I also think that there's a lot about the DLC that is at least as good or better than what the main game provides. The bosses, for example, I think are as good, both in presentation and gameplay. The Shadowkeep in the DLC is, I think, one of the best dungeons that From Software has ever made, and probably better than anything in the base game. The art style of the various areas were beautiful, already in the highest tier when it came to Elden Ring. And the DLC areas, I think, are even better than that. The DLC consistently gave me the most incredible moments. I feel that if Elden Ring was good enough to win Game of the Year, then Shadow of the Erdtree, if eligible, should at least get nominated. And if it does get nominated, if the eligibility requirements are not an issue, then I think it has a good chance of winning, based on what its competition is. I was very excited for many games this year, and most of them left me disappointed in important ways. So that's the first reason I think it should win based on its merit. But the second reason I think it should win, the more mischievous reason, is because it would be so funny. It would make so many people so angry. It really appeals to my mean, tribalistic heart. To imagine a DLC winning Game of the Year over full games, there would be a great weeping and gnashing of teeth, and I need to hear it. So now let's talk about whether it's eligible to win or not. There is precedent for DLC winning main game categories. The most notable one being that The Witcher 3's DLC Blood and Wine beat Dark Souls 3 for Best RPG of 2016. A slight that I am still salty about and have not forgotten. Now if I'm being honest for a second, I don't think it's a good thing for DLC to win main game categories, including Game of the Year, Best RPG, and any main game awards. I think it defeats the purpose of highlighting quality games that came out this year. But given that we have precedent of DLC beating full games in major categories, and since there's no DLC exclusive category, then Shadow of the Erdtree absolutely deserves at the very least a nomination. Going forward, I hope that we do establish a category specifically for DLC because there are some really excellent DLC that deserve to be highlighted but shouldn't interfere with new games coming out that year. The best ongoing category is not sufficient since those are often live games and it really doesn't fit there. It doesn't fit there. Cyberpunk 2077 won in that category and I don't think it should have. It was controversial when it did. In fact, this is another example of CD Projekt Red's games winning in a category they had no business competing in. So in the future, I do hope that a category is established for things like this so they can compete fairly. But that's not how things are right now, and that's not the precedent that has already been set. And given how things are right now, it would be unfair for Shadow of the Erdtree to not qualify. Now, putting aside whether or not it should qualify, I think it's actually assured that it will be nominated. Because the Game Awards Frequently Asked Questions page was recently updated. And this is what was added. The Game Awards aims to recognize the best creative and technical work each year, irrespective of the format of that content's release. Expansion packs, new game seasons, DLCs, remakes, and remasters are eligible in all categories, if the jury deems the new creative and technical work to be worthy of a nomination. Factors such as newness of the content and its full price and value should be taken into consideration. So again, this wasn't here a couple of days ago. It was updated yesterday. It provides further clarification that DLCs do in fact qualify for Game of the Year. And I think it's possible that they updated it specifically because they chose Shed of the Erdtree as one of the Game Award nominees in a category it wouldn't usually be in. If it was just going to be in Best Ongoing Game, clarification like this wouldn't be necessary. It's my prediction that on Monday, when the nominees are revealed, Shadow of the Erdtree will be on several lists, including Game of the Year. So Astrobot and Final Fantasy Rebirth better not get comfortable with the idea that they're getting that trophy. I don't think their grubby hands are getting anywhere near it. That's the end of this video. As always, thank you very much for watching.